Americans of all ages are struggling now more than ever. And we're not just talking financially, but emotionally and mentally. What's up, guys? My name is Caleb, and today we're going to be talking about how 44% of Americans are saying that they have high financial stress. A lot of the data that we're going to be covering is coming from the Motleyful article that surveyed about 2,000 adults. Now, as previously mentioned, 44% are claiming that they have high financial stress, whereas 36% are claiming that they stress over 5 days a week. These are not small numbers here. I mean, 44%, you're really looking at about half. And what's really interesting here about this article in particular is that it actually breaks it down between generations. So, for example, having stress or financial, money being a stress at home, 26% of millennials found that money or financial stress was present at home. 24% of Gen Z, and all the way down to 14% of baby boomers. And this is really consistent throughout the article as the number one reason listed for financial stress, like specifically, was inflation. Now, that shocked me a little bit. I thought it would be home prices. And funny enough, home prices actually wasn't listed in the article. I'm not sure why. I'm pretty sure it just falls under external factors, but that's just me speculating here. But inflation was the number one reason. I know we've all felt inflation, but just to like drive this home, I'm from the South here, and I pulled up a chart from 2018, 2018 to see what the price of Whataburger was at that time. Guys, a number one, just the burger was $3.49, and the meal was $6.09. Now, when you go to Whataburger, it's literally just getting a burger after taxes more expensive than the meal was back in 2018. And this is 2018. This isn't 25 years ago. This is less than 10. This is 8 years ago. And inflation is just one of the ways that Americans are getting squeezed. I read an article from Axios that stated that the median age of a first time homebuyer is now 41 years old. 41 years old. In 1980, it was late 20s, like around 28. It has gradually gone up, and people are just getting priced out of homes. And what you find is that, human beings are really not as separated in different categories as we think we are. When one area of our life gets worse, a lot of the other areas get worse too, which makes a whole lot of sense why when you're struggling financially, you're probably not doing that great mentally either. And one of the categories that this is greatly dipping into is people's sleep. Regardless of the generation you're in, Gen Z, millennial, Gen X, baby boomer, it doesn't matter. It's taken away your sleep. For every generation, it's, if not over half, it's really close to half. And how are Americans dealing with it? What's our coping mechanism? Budgeting. That's right. Budget your way out of it. Now, I am a finance guy and I do love a good budget. And I think budgeting is very good for the fact that you at least know where you are. It's a reflection point to be like, okay, this is what I've spent. Budgeting doesn't fix everything, it doesn't change your behavior. It just shows you what your behavior was. Like, I don't think anybody is going to be laying in bed at night being like, oh man, how am I going to pay those bills? Oh, that's right, I budgeted. We're good now. It doesn't really change any numbers. It just shows you where you've been at what time. And I also found it really interesting that budgeting was the greatest coping mechanism. However, inflation was the number one stress indicator. Like those two, it doesn't matter how hard you budget, inflation is going to do what inflation is going to do. So what you're stressing over, your coping mechanism, really doesn't even address. And kind of like I mentioned earlier about how when one area of life depreciates, most of the time another area does as well. People aren't having kids. The fertility rate has been dropping. I mean, we hit a record low in 2024, and I think finance is greatly the contributor. Specifically, home prices is what I was seeing on why people really are delaying or just straight up not having a family. And this is even evident in the American savings rate, which is right now at about 3.6. You look at 10 years ago, it was around 4.9%, closer to 5%. So, long story short, yeah, Americans are struggling, and it's not just financially, it's mentally too. So, I guess we have to really ask ourselves like what do we do with this? Like how do we dig ourselves out of this hole? Because I, like many of you guys, I'm right at the tail end, or I guess the beginning, you should say, of Gen Z. So, like, what do we do with this? And I really think that the best answer is, I mean, budgeting is a good start, but I don't think budgeting is the answer. It's really just living below your means, like significantly, like create margins everywhere you can. I remember I tell people at work who, they just got out of high school or just out of college and they moved back with their parents for work. It's like, dude, live with your parents. Like they are paying you $1,500. I mean, that's close to what it is where I'm at, for a single bed apartment. Like they're paying you $1,500 a month just to live. So tolerate the dishes, tolerate helping mom with laundry, like whatever you got to do. Cut costs, increase your margins, so really you can get a springboard to make it out. And for those of you who don't have that same opportunity to live at home, or you're already past that, like myself, the situation I'm in, I mean, you've really just got to increase your margins where you can. Decrease spending on food if you can. I mean, decrease it on really whatever is the main expense. Subscriptions will drain you dry. So just check on your subscriptions. And increasing your margins, that's focusing more on the defense, which is what most people think of when they're probably thinking of budgeting, but also increasing your offense, your income. However, you can take the next promotion, take on more responsibility. I mean, just increase your value. I mean, learn new skill sets as best you can. I think the silver lining here is that we're in the day of the age of the internet, where anything that you want to learn, you can just Google or look up or AI, whatever you want to do. And there will be something online how you can learn about that or whatever skills that you're trying to improve or bring. This is the day to do it. And that's the huge advantage that we have, is that technology is just it's just there. It's so easily accessible and you can access it any time. And then ultimately, I would say whatever you're saving, guys, you need to invest it. It's going to do two things for you. One, yes, it will eventually make you more money over the long term, as long as you're investing responsibly. But it's also going to get you in the habit of it. And getting yourself in the habit of it is just as important, if not really more important, than the actual return percentage that you'll be getting. And I would say if you don't feel comfortable investing, that's fine. You don't have to invest it. Let's just start with you earning interest in a savings account. I mean, let's get it doing something that's combating inflation at the very least. So I'm with you guys. I mean, I'm feeling it too. I feel it every single day. Like I've been saving for a house for probably 10 years and I'm still really not that close. I mean, I can do a down payment, but like with interest rates and how much homes have appreciated, like, a lot of the houses that I was looking at literally doubled in value from 2021 to now, and it's just, like, just insane. So, I feel it with you guys, it's really hard to feel like you're getting ahead. So I'm interested in the comments. Just comment below, like, where are you at? What are you struggling with? Are you losing sleep at night over financial stress like half of everybody, who reported financial stress is? I'm also curious, like, was money talked about in your home? Was being an adult being like thrown into the pool saying learn how to swim, or were you taught it? Comment below and let me know. So thanks for stopping by, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll be looking forward to your responses below. Hope you guys have a good one. See you next time.